In this video, we're going to look at the Rockschool Grade 2 drum kit piece, which is called For You. It's a really popular piece. It's fairly straightforward, not too complex, and we are not going to go bar by bar because by the time you get to Grade 2, or if you're looking at this video, you should be able to sight read most of this piece, okay? We're only going to cover the things that you probably won't have already done. So, most of the rhythms up to section B are fairly straightforward. There is an open hi-hat at the end of the first line, so at the end of bar 2. You should know how to do open hi-hats. If you don't, I am going to do another video in the future on opening hi-hats and the techniques and some tips behind that. The first complicated bit in comparison to the rest of this piece is the beginning of section B. Section B starts on a crash cymbal with a bass drum. So on beat 1, we've got a crash cymbal and a bass drum. On the end of beat 1, we've got a hi-hat. Beat 2, we've got an 8th note and 2 16th notes, okay? 2 and a. You're going to use your left hand to play that so 2 and a. A little tip for this, your right hand keeps moving at the same speed throughout bar 1 of section B. In fact, it keeps moving at the same speed for the first, well, for every single bar except the last bar. I'm looking at a screen by the way with the music on, okay? So every single bar apart from the last bar, your right hand is going to go at the same speed. So when I'm doing this bar, our left hand slots directly in the middle of 2 of these right hands. So if your right hand is doing this, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and. That is all the left hand does. It just comes off the snare drum position, hits in between and goes back. Bar 1 of section B sounds like this. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and. Okay, one more time. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and. We then go on to a fairly straightforward rhythm after that. We then repeat the same that we've just done without the crash cymbal. Okay, and yeah, that is pretty much it for the first page. I should mention that the last bar on the first page, which I'll put a little picture of, is 4 crash cymbals with bass drums on the quarter notes, okay? So basically on 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most people when they get to this panic and play those too fast, okay? So I'll play the bottom line. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Section C is where a lot of people, especially beginners, struggle with this one a little bit, and it's basically the struggle because the bass drum doesn't quite match up with the snare drum and the right hand. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and. So all 3 notes, the hi-hat, the snare and the bass should all fall exactly at the same time. If you end up with something like this, it doesn't sound right, okay? Because it's not in sync with the other parts of the drum kit, okay? So make sure you dedicate a bit of time to try and match the bass drum at exactly the same time as the hi-hat and the snare drum. That goes on for the first 2 lines of the piece, okay? And then we come to a fill at the end of line 3, okay? At the end of line 3, we have a flam on the snare drum, okay, on beat 1. So we've got 1, then we've got a quarter note rest, then we've got an 8th note rest, and then we've got and, 4, and, okay? So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. That's the fill. So flam, 2, 3, and 4, and. I suggest you go right, left, right on the tom to finish with, okay? So one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, this brings us to section D. Okay, I think that's just D anyway from here. We move over to the ride cymbal for this section. We start with a crash. Okay, this shouldn't be too problematic, so we're not going to go over that. And this brings us to the last line, okay, where we've got a fill that takes up 2 beats. So the last line goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So right, left, left. Okay, then we've got the same bar to end this piece that we had at the end of the first page, which is 4 crash cymbals. Okay, played up to the approximate tempo. The bottom line sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and crash, 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 crash. That brings us to the end of this video. Hopefully I've covered all the bits where people tend to trip over the most in this piece. You've heard me play it at the beginning. What I'll do is I'll put it on again at the end of this video so you can see it again. And yeah, any questions that you've got on any of the bars or sections, put them in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer. Good luck, keep practicing, and see you in the next video.